Welcome to the Champ and The Chump Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Corey Idle, and joining me, as always, the man, the myth, the legend, your GOAT, the champ himself, Lou Willard. I don't have an echo effect, voice effect on here, so I just
don't worry about it. Just bring me to the stage like Steve Harvey and Kings of Comedy. That's all you gotta do is keep bringing me to the stage.
There you go. I love it.
What's going on today, man?
Same, different day.
Okay. We knocking out two divisions today, right?
This is our show, Daddy. AFC North, AFC East, our teams, our divisions. If we don't know anything about anything else, we're going to know about this. This should be the episode.
This one kind of right. Yeah, we should get this one kind of right.
I would hope so. And of course, I don't want to start off too soon with the AFC North because, of course,
there'll be a
we're
rant.
just going to talk about the Steelers for an hour. So
there's going to be a rant. I don't mean it, but I even got the black and yellow watch on today by accident. But there's going to be a rant. We already know.
All right.
Let's see. I ain't even going to go into it. Go ahead.
We'll start off with the AFC East in that case, because my rant will be very quiet.
Oh, shoot.
Start with the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, fantasy perspective, 374 points last season, was the top scorer all year. Has been QB1. I don't see that going away for him anytime soon. No. James Cook, RB1 for the NFL in rushing yards with 1,614 touchdowns. He was a fantasy dynamo with 302 points. A lot of people got him on the cheap. Khalil Shakir in that woeful receiving room had 185 points. Dalton Kincaid, tight end, followed up with 155. Lou, their draft was a lot of defense.
They needed it.
They did get one wide receiver in the fourth round, Skylar Bell out of UConn. And, of course, their big move in the offseason was collecting themselves DJ Moore to help Josh Allen out.
There you go. And Cook helped Allen out, too. Well,
yes.
Excuse me. Let me reverse that. Allen helped Cook out by not running all the time.
Yeah.
So turn around and hand the ball to the man you just gave $13 million a year to. Give him the ball, let him go. So their draft was what they needed, and we're not a defensive show. We don't have defensive players in our leagues, but they got what they needed because, yes, Allen turned that ball over a lot in that game against, I believe it was Denver, trying to play hero ball because they weren't stopping anybody. When you're stopping people, and we'll talk about this when we get to the next division that we're talking about today in the form of the Cincinnati Bengals. You don't have to play hero ball when you're confident that your team can get a stop and that you don't have. These teams go into this. The Bills are going into games prior to this season. Man, if we don't score 35, we don't have a chance. And that is nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they had a great draft because they got what they needed. That cornerback out of Ohio State, here I go with my bias again, but that's okay. Kid can play. He's a little handsy. He's a little handsy like Joey Porter Jr. was, but maybe he put some boxing gloves on him at practice and let him play. You can't grab. That's what they do with these guys. They even do it in some high schools. Put boxing gloves on them. You can't grab anybody. You have to play with your feet and your hips. It's one thing that they go to. So that's going to help them. But what's really going to drive these numbers up is the addition of DJ Moore.
Yes.
This is going to be fun because Shakir wasn't a number one receiver. I don't think he ever claimed to be.
No.
And I'm not sure DJ Moore is a clear number one anymore, but he'll be a number one in Buffalo, which now Shakir won't get double teamed, and he should be able to be more productive as well. So this is going to be a fun team to watch.
It's going to be interesting. You can't stack the box necessarily against James Cook because you got good tight ends.
Yes, you do.
Dalton Kincaid and
Knox.
Yes, Dawson Knox. Even Jackson Hawes is not bad as their third guy.
Yeah.
So they got good tight ends where you can't stack the box. Obviously, Josh Allen can move, which they don't want him to do because when he does, that's when Josh Allen loses you football games.
And he's starting to get dinged up a little bit more too because he's getting we say older, but it's older in football terms. So he's getting to be a
Exactly.
little older, but man, that kid can play.
Yeah.
That son bitch can play. And he gotta start to realize that he is starting to get banged up a little bit. Like I can't find the word I'm looking for, but mortality. He's got to start to realize his football mortality.
Yep.
Then the young boy's starting to put some licks on his big ass, and it's starting to take a toll on him. So he's got to be more in the pocket and run more strategically instead of recklessly.
And I tell you what's going to help that is he just got married. He just had a baby.
Yeah.
That seems to collect everybody a little bit more who are wiling out in football. Like when you have real life happening for you.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, you feel a totally different type of something when you have a kid. That's just totally different. That's in life. You feel a different type of. I called it rage when I had my son the first time. I'm like, oh, so now I know what it'd be like to truly hurt somebody over a person.
Right.
Because anybody mess with this little dude, it's a wrap. And so that's where he's at. People like, he's not focused because he got married, he got a kid. Oh man, back up. Let that man live.
Yep.
Let him live. But he still had a hell of a year. He just had a bad game.
Yeah. And let's face facts. When you have life events like that happening, not that I've ever spoken to any of my kids, there's a couple dozen somewhere out there. But when you do have something like that happen and you do want to be in their lives, your priorities shift. And his priorities are shifting. And now leaving it all out on the field is going to look different for Josh Allen. That being said, he's still my QB1 going into this year. I'm taking him early.
And he's still going to leave it all out on the field because the odds of him dying on the field are slim and none, and none got 1 foot out the building. So worst thing he could do is suffer a career-ending injury, but he signed a $300-something million contract. Yeah. His family's fine. He's done his job from a generational standpoint of financial wealth. He's not rich, he's wealthy. And there's a difference. So he's going to play. He's just not going to play as reckless because he knows that hurts the team.
Exactly.
So if they don't have him, Mitch Trubisky, if he's still the backup, I don't know. But he can't get it done like Josh Allen can. Basically, not too many people can. That's why he's QB1.
Exactly. And it's actually worse there. It's Kyle Allen. So
okay.
Josh ain't getting hurt.
No, he can't.
I don't want to spend too much time on the Bills, but they do have two of the more dynamic players in the league, so we have to. Yeah. Where are you drafting James Cook, especially in relation, because I know you will hunt Josh Allen early in a draft.
Yeah, I will.
Where will you take James Cook in this draft?
If I get Josh Allen, I would just play it cool and wait because I don't want them canceling each other out. If I miss on Allen, I'll take Cook at the end of the first round. Because I know he's getting the ball and his touchdowns are not automatically being poached anymore. And I know people will say, well, you're reaching. You're right. But I'm going to see how my draft fall. And if Jeremiah Love fall out of it, if I'm drafting 11th or 12th and I can go Cook, come right back around, Jeremiah Love, I'll take my chances. I'll take my chances because both of them are getting the football.
Oh, 100%.
And I just think that these fantasy football right now is so receiver heavy. Yes, we all want Chase. We all want Jefferson, Neighbors, all these other guys that we always talk about. I'm forgetting a million people. But, man, look, if you can stock up with 2 stud running backs and come in with T. Higgins, in this case, DJ Moore, I mean, guys like that. I mean, Chris Olave will be there.
Yep.
Your team is loaded. Because there's also 20 good quarterbacks.
Totally agree.
These are some high-scoring fantasy games this year, unless you play standard. Then it's the first one to 20. First one to 20.
All right. Moving off the Bills, we'll hit the Dolphins, who, well, a lot of these guys aren't on the team anymore from last year. Tua Tagovailoa led the team with 255 points. He actually didn't have a bad season, given the circumstances going on with that team. He's no longer on the team. He's in Atlanta. Yep. Devon Achane is still on the team. 322 points. He finished his RB6 overall in PPR with 12 touchdowns and 78 receptions. I think that's going up this year. Jalen Waddle, 265 points. He really blossomed and then took that to Denver in the
Yep.
offseason. And Darren Waller, I don't think he's on the team anymore either. Led the tight end group with 130 miserable points.
Yeah, Waller was actually at the draft hanging out with one of my buddies.
Oh, nice. And yeah, Waller is not on the team anymore.
Dude, he was like, man, we was just hanging out with Darren Waller. That food crazy. He cool as hell. I was like, okay, I'll be over here though, because I'm not walking all the way back over there. But
he's definitely got one of the best stories ever.
He does. And he came out with a really good article. I mean, this is fantasy football, but check his article out, talk about mistakes he's made. It was stand up. He realized what he did. But anyway, like this team is in a complete rebuild. So none of these guys are relevant this year other than Achan. I think it's Malik Washington.
Yep.
Is going to be their number one.
Yes, sir.
So it's just going to be interesting. They signed Malik Willis. So the Dolphins are going to finish last in this division. And that's not a knock against the Dolphins and the reason it's not a knock is because they appear to have a plan. If you have a plan, I can see this being the first step of it. They drafted some good ball players. That Caden Proctor, you got a 12 to 15 year tackle.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to be able to pay him.
Yep.
Now you should still be in a position after this year to get one of the quote unquote 7 good quarterbacks that we heard about coming out this year, come out next year. We know how that goes. They should be in position to get one of those guys who can sit behind Malik Willis for a year and then take the reins, and they're out of Malik's contract after 2 years. He made his money. They got their guy. They can even re-sign Willis as a backup. So he can still mentor the young guy. So I like what they're doing. But if you're a Dolphins fan, as our producer is, it's just going to be a rough year because it's got to be hard to finish behind the Jets. And I just think they will because I don't know. I don't even know. They both might finish 2-15. I don't know. It's not going to be good.
It's going to be rough. It's going to be a rough year. I like personally, not that as a Patriots fan, I've experienced much of this, but I like when you aren't doing this middling around rebuild crap. You're going to eat shit for a year or two, and you are going to become a different team over that course in time. I love what they're doing. I know they're not going to be fantasy relevant. And I'll be honest with you. Devon Achan is one of the best backs in the league. I was ecstatic to have him. I do not understand why he is not tradable for the Dolphins because the time you're rebuilt, he's used up.
No, and not only that, this is one reason he's not going to be. I mean, he'll get his numbers because he's getting the ball.
Yeah.
But this is the first. We'll see how good he is this year. And I'll tell you why. This is the first year that anybody that plans for the Dolphins is going, we got a plan to stop Achan. I think he's number 28. We got a plan to stop 28. No, it was all Tyreek and Waddle and then him. Well, guess who ain't there anymore? The first 2 guys I mentioned. So whoever is playing them is going, we got to stop him and we'll work with everybody else. So we'll see how good he is. And he's a little light in the ass too. So hopefully he doesn't get banged up. And I noticed the subtle shot you took of my Steelers from middling it around and not just doing a rebuild. But we're not even to that. I ain't said nothing about the Patriots yet. So don't bring that to me again. No, I'm going to let you slide with that one. I hear it all. I hear it all on the show. But no, Dolphins.
Don't you bring that evil to me, Ricky Bobby.
The Dolphins, I like what they're doing. But as a fan for this year, if you want to go to a game, this is the year to go because tickets are going to be a little cheaper.
Yeah.
Because I don't see them winning a whole lot of games. But that doesn't mean it won't be competitive. It just means you're in a good division because Buffalo's still good. The Patriots were a year early. I know they got some situations in the front office, but that didn't change the players.
No.
So as long as you don't fumble the players, they're still going to be good. The Jets got better, but they still have a bad coach. So, division's not easy. It's not nearly the best division in the league, but it's not easy division.
No. And frankly, another factor that's going to go into this, if you look at their draft, they had so many picks.
Yeah.
So many holes got filled by rookies. It's a young team. They are going to make massive errors. Like
Which
this.
they knew.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just
That's
saying
why they
from
got rid of the guys they got rid of.
100%. And from a
Yeah.
fantasy standpoint, I am staying away from the majority of this team.
I mean, I'd
If
have
I
to
can get
say,
H in third, fourth round, which I know is unlikely, but if I can get him there,
yeah,
yeah,
oh, if he's
I'm
there in the
happy as a clam
if
getting
he's
that
there in the
love.
third round and you don't take him, I'm not sure what you're doing.
No,
But the thing is, like with this team, I don't have any of the numbers in front of me, but if they're not the youngest team in the league, I like to know who is. If they sign all these draft picks, I like to know who's the youngest team in the league if it's not them.
agree. I would definitely put money on that. You'd
Yeah,
almost
I
have to.
mean, this is a very young team.
Yeah, they really are. All right, Lou. Let's let you get it out of the way. The New
Say
England
the word.
Patriots. Obviously, they had a great season. Drake May came out of nowhere. He finished at QB2, 359 total points, over 4,000 yards, 31 touchdowns. His rushing was huge. Ramondre Stevenson led the running back crew with 210 points. He remained a workhorse for them mainly because they didn't have the offensive line to get Travion Henderson the holes to allow him to explode. Steph Diggs had a great season. He's still a free agent, though. 215 points. He's got all sorts of off the field issues, which is keeping him off a team right now. It's not his ability.
Yep.
And
Yep.
Hunter Henry, the guy that's just always around, 140 points. It's what he does almost consistently every single season for the Patriots. Their draft was good. There's nobody notable. Eli Raridan, maybe from Notre Dame at tight end. He's going to be their clear replacement for Henry moving forward.
Well, don't discount their first round pick, Caleb Lomu,
Yep.
the tackle out of Utah.
Yep.
Very relevant because your quarterback was on his back and on the run the entire season. This kid can play tackle. Hopefully he can play it in the NFL. Hopefully he can, because Drake May didn't come out of nowhere. He got a coach that believed that he could play, and he went from a coach that didn't think he could.
Yep.
That's all that happened with that kid. Some bitch can play.
Yep.
I mean, and now you got somebody that I think if this kid can plug and play for them, his numbers are only going to go up. Too many pronouns, pal, but being Drake May,
yep, 100%.
His numbers are going to go up. And then with the addition of you guys got the receiver from Green
Romeo
Bay.
Doubs.
Romeo Doubs, yes. That receiving core is a number one away. I think you got 3 twos, but 3 twos beats a 2 and a 3
every time.
So you can put 3 twos out there. Teams got to pick and choose who they're going to double team, and that may change throughout the game depending on who's hot.
Yep.
So I like what they're doing offensively, but like you and I talked about a lot off air. Thing that concerns us both is Mike Vrabel's situation. And this is just not me beating up on your team. This is real talk for fantasy football.
It's legitimate.
Because it's going to be completely relevant for fantasy football if he's able to maintain his job. And I was a teammate of Vrabel's before. So that was 30 some odd years ago at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, he was a good guy. He's appeared to have made a mistake. That's none of my business. This is football. At the end of the day, if he has to step down from that job and this team hires Josh McDaniel, I have to really evaluate anybody other than Drake May, because Drake May's just that damn good. But I love Travion Henderson. Love him.
Yeah, Travion's going to be the breakout this year.
He's a
That's
breakout.
Their goal.
Yep.
He's the running back I'm trying to keep my eye on draft wise, especially PPR, because of his pass catching ability. He is going to be really good in that aspect. As far as the receivers, Romeo Doubs, Kayshon Boutte, Mac Hollins, and Demario Douglas. Again, Lou said it best. You got a bunch of number twos, but it's a Patriots team. They spread the ball around.
And then, like we talked about in our prior show, they have 3 number twos now because the number 1 ain't signed yet. It's AJ Brown.
That's the X factor.
AJ Brown's coming. It's just it's June 1st.
June 1st.
I think it's a June 1st deal.
The only reason this doesn't happen is if Vrabel leaves the team. before June 1st. And they're not going to, for everybody out there wondering, Vrabel's already back at team headquarters. He was back yesterday. He's doing his thing. They are not going to fire him. He's either going to resign or he is the
there
coach.
You go.
And to Lou's point, having experienced Josh McDaniels with the Broncos, having experienced Josh McDaniels going to Indianapolis for a futile 5 minutes.
With the Patriots as well.
He is a fucking disaster as a head coach. One of the greatest offensive coordinators of all time. A disaster as a head coach. If he comes to that team, I won't touch a Patriot ever on my fantasy roster. I will not do it.
Good,
he will torpedo that team.
Because he may, but they're going to throw that ball. And A.J. Brown is still coming because he is an offensive coordinator. He's not like Vrabel's the defensive coach.
Right.
And A.J. Brown is still coming.
Well,
that deal is done.
Here's the reason I say that could be an issue with the A.J. Brown deal, because I agree with you overall in principle.
Oh, their personalities are completely different. They're going
Mike Vrabel coached A.J. Brown when A.J. Brown was going through
Tennessee.
Some very serious mental health issues.
Yep.
Vrabel rode for him because A.J. Brown did not want to go to he did not want to be traded. Vrabel rode for him. The GM overruled Vrabel, which is also why Vrabel left the team.
That's also one of the reasons he got relieved of his duties.
Exactly. Vrabel and A.J. Brown have kept in contact. A.J. Brown has constantly spoken about if he played for any other coach, it's Mike Vrabel. That's where he wants to go to. Wherever Vrabel's coaching, that's his guy. If Vrabel is unceremoniously left that team with Josh McDaniels, who has a history of taking loud, brash, all in air quotes, wide receivers and shipping them out for peanuts, aka Brandon Marshall, A.J. Brown will not be on this team. And if they do make the trade anyway, A.J. Brown will get cut or traded before the trade deadline this year. Guaranteed.
Yeah, if they're not, if the deals, I think the deal's done. I mean, we all know how the league works. This shit is done. Yeah. And so they're not cutting him, because you cut him, you get nothing from him. They may try to force a trade, or he may try to force a trade, but at the end of the day, how much they gonna pay him? There you go. Money's right. His ass ain't going nowhere. We've all played for a coach that we really didn't love.
Yeah.
But the situation is the situation. You where you are. If you don't like it here so much, put some shit on tape and get you another job. That's the situation you'll be in. But I guarantee you, he walk in that door, Drake May ain't letting him leave. He ain't.
Oh, hell no. Yeah.
This kid's still on this rookie contract. They blow this up. He looking at a $300+ million contract. So 100%. Ain't no way he's letting one of the best receivers in the league, clearly a top 10 guy. We can argue top 5. I don't think he's top 5, but he's top 10. There ain't no way in hell you pair him with Dobbs and Butte and all those guys. That's a hell of a receiving core. So the quarterback ain't letting that happen. Josh McDaniels' ego is not letting that happen. And his ego is what keeps burying him.
Yeah.
But I think he knows this will be his last chance if Kraft would hire him again. So hopefully Vrabes keep his job, but that's between him and his wife.
I think
I ain't speaking on that.
I think we spent a lot of time talking about something that's actually never going to happen, because I think Vrabel is going to stay. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Which is good. I love that for him. The mistakes he made is a mistake he made. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm not even talking about that.
Nope.
But hopefully the man keeps his job and this team can be fantasy relevant. And I will take Hunter Henry on my team any day of the week, because he's just a guy that he'll just look up. He got 8 points. Damn. I ain't seen him touch the ball. Some bitch got 8 points. Yeah, he got 2 catches and a touchdown. I'm like, damn.
I'll tell you, knowing this team like I do, and coaches come and go, blah, 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 but culture is a big thing. We've talked about it with the Steelers.
Yeah.
You do certain things a certain way. This rookie, Eli Raridan, out of Notre Dame, get him late and stash him. Watch what this kid does. on this offense. Even if offensive line can be playing great, it can be playing poor, and they just need to dump the ball quick because left side has T-Rex blocking for us still. Fine, it doesn't matter. That rookie will show up and get the ball a lot. By the end of the season, that dude is going to be a tight end monster.
Okay.
I'm really excited about him. Just knowing this offense like I do.
Little inside information.
I got you guys. That was for you guys, not for Lou. That was for you guys. Lou don't need the help.
Yeah, you got that right. I don't need the help. Not your kind of help. You just told me who I'm not drafting. I'm gonna put the black line through his name when the draft starts.
All right, moving on. Ass. The New York Football Jets, another team that probably Lou doesn't want their help. Justin Fields, a poor guy. I love him in Kansas City now. Obviously, no longer with the Jets. He had 143 points. He was the leading quarterback for the team. Brees Hall at running back, 202 points. He had a down year, obviously, for him, but he didn't have a bad year. He just had a down year for him. Garrett Wilson, it wasn't good. I mean, do I have to say his points? I don't want to. Garrett Wilson was
throw the ball.
Garrett Wilson was sub 200. I'm going to put it like that. Tyler Conklin, whatever. He ain't playing there. So, moving on to their current roster, they had a big offseason. They got Geno Smith. They franchise tag Brees Hall. Kept Garrett Wilson, obviously. Adonai Mitchell. Omar Cooper is their rookie signing. Kenyon Sadiq and Mason Taylor, rookie and first-year tight ends, is how we're looking. Lou, what are you thinking about this team?
This team, they did what they needed to do because this is a team that threw for 67 yards passing in a football game last year in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, wait a minute. What? I think my old ass could get out there and throw for 67 yards. You complete one and somebody could break a tackle and go 70 yards before I out for the season with a bad shoulder because I threw that one pass. But nonetheless, they added offense. They added Geno, who's going to be aggressive as quarterback because what does he have to lose? This is his second stint. He came into the league with the Jets. This is his second stint with the team. He know this is his last hurrah. So look for him to go full on Jameis Winston this year. So this is a quarterback, especially in your super flex leagues. I would take Geno because this fool going to sling it. Because what they're going to do, bench him? This is it.
That's
he don't care. He's got his money. He's had some success in the league from starting out to look like a bust. He got his career back on track.
Yep.
So what is it with the Jets drafting quarterbacks and their bust? They go somewhere else. And the Jets drafted Sam Darnold as well. And he had to leave to go get better. Something about that organization. But I do love the pick of K. Kludnik. I can't pronounce his last name.
Yep.
The kid can play. He had a bad year last year, but look, to whom much is given, much is expected. These quarterbacks get the most money. Mm-hmm. They get the biggest NIL deals. That's why he fell down the board. His team just wasn't that good. He didn't play great. And I'm like, no, he didn't, but his team wasn't that good.
Yeah.
I mean, what can you do? Will Howard's team wasn't that good at Kansas State. He got to Ohio State. They won a natty.
Exactly. So look at Fernando Mendoza. What'd he do?
Put the kid around some players.
Yep.
There's people that still don't know for Mendoza was at Cal.
That's hilarious.
No, he didn't start it. He just didn't start at Indiana. He transferred. But nonetheless, this kid can play. I think he can play. Mm-hmm. So there's a couple rookie quarterbacks that we're going to talk about as we go through these, as we go through this process that I think teams have found their starter. This is their starter. And I think it's their starter for the next 10 years. Jets ain't drafting a quarterback next year.
If you're in a dynasty league, are you taking Klubnik late?
Oh, I wouldn't hesitate because I'm looking at Garrett Wilson's a dog, a straight up dog. Mason Taylor can play, and then you just gave him Kenyon Sadiq who can play. I mean, he's got to prove he at the league, but I think Omar Cooper Jr. is going to be good. So look at the weapons he's going to have to play with. You wouldn't have taken. Who was the kid that they took out of BYU a couple years ago? You wouldn't have took him in a dynasty league.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
the one that was talking about sleeping with somebody's mom or something stupid.
Exactly. Nasty.
Yeah, you wouldn't have taken him because number one, he didn't have anybody to get the ball to.
Yeah.
You're looking at what this kid has, and they're all still young. Garrett Wilson's he's ready for a big contract, which he should get. Hopefully he does. But then the rest of these guys are set all on rookie. They're young. If they hit, the quarterback hits.
Yep.
And if he hits, they hit. So it really all depends on him. And if they have a good offensive coordinator, and I don't know who that is off the top of my head, but if they do, this kid is going to be good because he can play. And he comes from a system of winning. I know, being an Ohio State guy, we all hate Clemson. We don't like Dabo. Can't stand him. But you cannot deny the success that Clemson has had.
Oh.
Now, I know they had a down year or two, but they're still Clemson. They're not going anywhere. So the kid is used to a winning culture. Now somebody's got to turn that around for the Jets. That's the key here. The Jets have a culture of losing. Winning's a habit just like losing it is, and they're stuck in a losing culture. So if these young guys can flip that script and get at least one interception, it will really help the offense out to get the ball back.
That would be really nice. It is curious that you drafted 2 defensive tackles and a safety, and you have no interceptions on the season. Like, I don't get that. I will say, though, that the drafting of Sadiq, the drafting of Cooper, helps Garrett Wilson a ton. He becomes much more valuable to me in this. Breece Hall becomes much more valuable to me in a fantasy draft. Geno Smith doesn't necessarily have that single season PPR value for me because there are so many quarterbacks that are going to be better than he is. But Cooper, Wilson, those two are going to feed off each other all season because whoever does it, like Garrett's going to draw the double, obviously. You're going to see Cooper getting it a lot. Then as defenses start to shift, you're going to see Wilson freeing up a little bit more. And as Lou said, if they have a good coordinator, they're going to work out routes for Wilson, who can run an entire friggin' route tree, by the way. They're going to work ways to get him that ball because he's their playmaker in that receiving core. So these guys' fantasy value are huge to me. Huge. I'm avoiding Geno. I'm probably avoiding Mason Taylor just because I think Sadiq is going to be more of the target.
Well, and like you bring up Geno, that's why I initially said Geno in a super flex league.
Yes, exactly.
He's your second quarterback. He's not in the top 12. He's not sniffing the top 12. Not with the way this league is right now. But you get stuck in a situation where you miss on quarterbacks early, or you feel like you go some other positions and you got to pick up 2 quarterbacks late, and you wind up with a Geno Smith and a Tyler Shaw, or however you say his name. I think you'll be okay, because those guys are going to put up numbers by accident. Number one, based on the fact that their teams are going to be behind.
Exactly what I was going to say.
So they're going to be slinging it around. Everybody can't get, Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts. Everybody can't get them. You got to get somebody that you hope and just do his end of the deal every week. And that's what this guy will be for fantasy football, being Geno Smith.
Yeah. Totally agree. And I'll be honest with you, off topic, we're getting ready to move to the AFC North. Jalen Hurts scares me a little bit this year.
Oh, not me.
Like, I think he's going to do his thing. Don't get me wrong, but I think that offense is going to run a little bit more through Saquon. Am I wrong?
I don't know if you're necessarily wrong, but I think the offense is going to run like this. We now don't have a guy who's constantly complaining about getting the ball.
Right.
So now everybody can just relax. Everybody can get their numbers. I'm the quarterback, so I didn't got to hear this shit every time I come off the field.
Fair enough.
I can just focus on the game. And I think he's about to have what could be an MVP season, except I don't think they'll go to the Super Bowl, because I think that'll be the Giants.
Right.
I think that'll be the Giants. And I think that's simply because I think Harbaugh's a better coach than Sirianni.
Yeah. Oh, totally agree with that.
Because the talent on the offense is the Eagles. The Eagles got more talent than the Giants. The Giants just got a lot of young talent now. But I think it's going to come down to coaching. And I think at the end of the day, Harbaugh is officially the best coach in that league, in that division.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. All right, guys, gear up. You're about to get an education. We are heading to lose home, his division home. If Lou knows football, which nobody's arguing about, where he knows it the most, outside of probably Ohio State football, is the AFC North. And we are starting with his only division rival, Browns fans, his only division rival. This is also therapy for Browns fans. His only division rival, the Baltimore Ravens.
And it was funny. I was at the draft last week, and they initially had the draft set up for the fans in the theater backwards. They had a couple different sections for each team, but one section they had the Ravens fans in front of the Steelers fans. And Rooney called, said, "No, we got to switch that." And the league said, "Yeah, we got to switch that." And they switched them and kind of got them away from each other. But anytime somebody said Baltimore, they got booed out of the state.
Yep.
They said the Browns got booed out of the city.
Yeah,
not the state, just the city. They said Cincinnati, and everybody said, "Oh,
yeah, that's
cute."
Look at
I bet you I didn't see, and this is God truth. I bet you I didn't see 15 Cincinnati fans. I don't know if they just didn't want to make the drive, but I saw a ton of Browns fans. You see a ton of everybody's fans, but Cincinnati fans. But then again, they say NFL record 320,000 people. That was just in there because there was more people outside, and that was more people outside. So clearly, I just didn't see them all, but I did see a lot of Bengals fans, which shocked me.
Rewatching the draft, because we did our live show for the first round, so I didn't get to hear a lot of the draft. But watching the draft, the most entertaining part of it was every time a Ravens fan got up on that stage in Pittsburgh and talked mad shit to the Steelers crowd.
Yeah,
that was fantastic. I absolutely loved every minute of it. The Ravens last year. Yeah, Ravens had a down year last year for sure, largely due to the fact that Lamar Jackson, even when he was playing, was significantly hurt.
And he wasn't getting along with Harbaugh.
Exactly. Derrick Henry, I'm not going to read off their point totals because they're just they're not accurate to what we know these guys can do.
And they're both getting picked early in these drafts anyway.
Oh, exactly. Derrick Henry, same situation. Had a down year with Lamar hurt. The onus was on him to carry the team. He's just getting older, guys. I know he's still Derrick Henry. He's still a dog. He led the division with running backs, but look at the division you were in also. It doesn't mean necessarily it was, wow, Derrick Henry. You are going to see him fall later and later in drafts. Zay Flowers, 195 points. To me, that's good for Zay Flowers. And Mark Andrews, 145. He has definitely aged himself out. That being said, their draft was pretty good. They went O-line in the first round. They picked up Elijah Surratt out of Indiana. Good for the Indiana guys, by the way, getting some love in this draft. And tight end Matthew Hibner, more evidence. Their biggest loss on the season was Isaiah Likely, going to the Giants.
From a fantasy perspective,
yes.
The biggest loss that's going to crush them is Linderbaum, the center.
Yes.
Because
their offensive line is in flux right now.
Yeah, this is arguably the best center in the league, unless you want to argue between him and the kid from Kansas City. They're the two best centers in the league, and you can't even argue that. So with that being the situation, who's going to call the scheme when they're at the line? That's the biggest thing for them. The biggest thing. They got to fix that line.
They got Corey Bullock at center right now. They got their rookie first rounder at left guard, Ronnie Staley, who's obviously a dog at tackle.
Yeah.
John Simpson's badass at right guard, and Roger Rosengarten, who I honestly don't know, at right tackle.
Oh, Steady Eddie out there. But what they lost was the quarterback of the line.
Yep.
That's what they lost.
And when you lose the Tom Brady of your centers, I mean,
that's you lost the quarterback of the line. No way I was letting him out of that building if I was them. But I don't know their financials on the back end. But when you do that, but you brought in Trey Hendrickson. I'd have rather given the money to my center because number one, it wouldn't have been Trey Hendrickson money, and two, it doesn't disrupt my offense as much. And I would have attacked a more higher profile wide receiver in the offseason too to go along with Zay Flowers. Like I like this kid Jacoby Lane out of USC that they drafted, but man, if Dobbs was on the move, if Pittman was available, how you let these dudes go anywhere else? I mean, try to get one of them, and they didn't.
I don't get it.
And then you let Likely leave. And a lot of this has to do with the coaching change too. Sure. You know, coaches are going, those aren't my guys. Yeah, they're not my guys. I'm out. So you can go if you want to go. I didn't draft you anyway. It's that type of thing. But Baltimore is going to Baltimore on you. And I'm not too sure about the coach. It's a new coach. He may be good. He may not. Now, some people are coordinators. And they're just coordinators, like we talked about Josh McDaniel.
Yep.
Some people are head coaches, period. Some people can coach their ass off, and I'm hoping this guy can't. I've had enough of Baltimore.
I'll be honest with you. This seems like a Lamar Jackson friendly signing more so than a Baltimore Ravens friendly signing, being the head coach, which is good. But also, if you're not going to give Lamar anything, he's never going to do anything. It's just, and I don't want to hear the shit about Lamar can't win a Super Bowl. Lamar hasn't done this. He does. Josh Allen hasn't done anything because he's never had people around him to actually help him. He's getting that. Lamar still isn't.
If I were to tell you that Lamar has Lamar been to a Super Bowl? I know they haven't won one with him.
I don't think he's been to one. I think he's been to an AFC championship game.
Yeah, it's been a championship. Buffalo hadn't been to one with Josh Allen.
Nope.
Joe Burrow has with the Bengals and no defense.
Yep.
That is crazy. That's crazy. So, but Baltimore is going to Baltimore on you. They're not going to be an easy out. They weren't an easy out last year. They had no business losing that NFC Championship North game to Pittsburgh. Should have never even came down to that kick. I mean, I don't know how many of you watched the game, but I watched it. Should have never came down to that kick. And then they should have never lost to the Raiders in week 1. I mean, they just gave games away. And now you got the coach fighting with the quarterback, who were both of them adult enough not to put that shit in the papers, but it was happening.
Yep.
And so that derailed their season. Then they play the Eagles, the Bills. The Bills, and there's 12 minutes left in the game, and Derrick Henry never gets another carry.
That's crazy.
He never got back in the game. What are you doing? This is why they didn't make the playoffs. It wasn't because that kid mixed that kick against the Steelers. That was just the icing on the cake for the way their season had went. I look for these fools to have a bounce back year, namely Lamar. So I still don't, people will back off, he was hurt. Okay. Again, we talk about guys who got some dog in them, and he has some dog in him.
Yep.
He's not having another year like that. Now he's basically handpicked a coach. So if you can't perform under a coach that you handpicked, you can get all the way the hell out of here because don't nobody want to hear it at this point in time.
Yeah, no. I'll be honest with you. In this division, obviously Lamar is a good quarterback, probably the best all around. Fantasy-wise, I'm probably drafting Joe Burrow before I draft Lamar Jackson. I'm drafting a lot of players before I take Lamar, just because they won't surround him with help.
And they're not going to throw the ball a lot unless the new coach. But we have a new coach now. So, but the easiest way to predict the future is to look at the past of the current situations that they have. Baltimore Ravens typically didn't throw the ball a lot, but they had a coach that was there 18 years. That coach is no longer there. Will they join the NFL and throw the football? It remains to be seen. And if they do, can he? Because he's never really had to a lot.
Yeah.
They've just lined up and run your ass over and play defense on you.
A team that does run or does not shy away from the pass, but probably should. The Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow had a bad season. Obviously, he was injured. I'm not going to read off his points like I did. Chase Brown had a good season, almost a breakout season, I would say. 260 points total on
Absolute
the
breakout
season.
season for him.
Finished running back 10 in PPR. Jamar Chase proved he is quarterback proof along with matchup proof. He had 313, finished as wide receiver number 1 overall, 125 catches, 1,400 yards, and didn't have his quarterback for most of the season. And then Mike Gesicki led the tight end charge with 120 points.
And you still have T. Higgins, and you still have I can't say that kid's name, number 80. Last name start with an I. I can't say it.
Ayahuasca is how I'm going to pronounce. Ayahuasca is what I call him.
Yeah,
just because I prefer the drug over the receiver. I'll draft the drug ayahuasca in a fantasy draft before I draft ayahuasca, the player. But
yeah, I mean, it's hard to draft him because of the team he's on, but he's the Isaac Tesla of the Bengals. 100%. If you remember him from Detroit, as we talked about, you got to guard him. He just runs around open. They just don't throw him the ball all the time because of the 2 dogs that you got on the outside. But the best thing, go ahead, about you didn't get to the draft yet. I'm cutting you off.
That's okay. I was going to say they had a great draft, even fantasy-wise, with their defensive players. They went edge, cornerback, center, wide receiver, and Colby Young, offensive tackle, a tight end, and then another defensive tackle. Obviously, they think they've replaced Trey Hendrickson, but with their defense getting better, this benefits everyone, especially Chase Brown. I would love to draft Chase Brown on my team this year.
Exactly. Their biggest signing was trading their number 10 overall pick. And you guys can go for Dexter Lawrence, and you guys can go watch our shorts that I did live from the draft where I interviewed the Bengals player and said, so what do you think about that pick? Because you guys would have just messed it up anyway. So what you think about that trade? And that dude started laughing. He said, we would have messed up the pick. I'm like, you would have. But trading that number 10 pick, there was nobody the Bengals could have drafted. They were going defense. This is if they're going defense. There was no defensive player that they could have taken at 10 that's better than Dexter Lawrence. And I love me some Caleb Downs. I love me some Sonny Styles. Y'all know I'm a homer. Dexter Lawrence is established. He is a big human being, and he's playing right what the Cincinnati Bengals need him to do. They got to plug up the run. Everybody just own the ball on them. Plug up the run, establish some pass rush. That's what they'll do. That, in turn, with some other signings that they had on defense, is going to get the ball back to this potent offense. This team is the reason why what I tell you the Super Bowl was going to be. The Giants and the Bengals. The Giants and the Bengals. And it's because of their defensive signing, because their offense was never broken.
No.
So I'm not going to say because of the offense, because they've scored 40 and lost, 38 and lost. I mean, come on now. That's not your offense's problem. Your problem was defense. And if their defense is bad this year, I don't think you fired a coach because it wasn't for a lack of trying, unless you fire him because of player evaluation.
Exactly.
Because they're going all in with it. This is all in for the Bengals. Spending that money on Dexter Lawrence with a cheap owner like they got, this is all in.
100% agree with you. I mean, look, everybody on this offense, even with Gesicki, if you just draft your tight ends late.
Yeah.
There's not a person, Joe Burrow, Chase Brown, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Ayahuasca, and Mike Gesicki. Even guys I'm going to stash, I'm drafting. I don't need to, I'm not hoping to pick anybody up, or I don't think I will get any of these guys in a 12-team PPR league draft in free agency. You got to draft all of them.
The biggest person you can get off this team is clearly the quarterback, because you don't know where the ball's going when guys play with this much talent, but you know it's got to go somewhere. So short of him turning it off and handing it to Chase Brown, if he throws it to him and he scores, you get the points. So, but I mean, this is a team that's very fantasy relevant.
Yes, 100%. They are everywhere, all over this draft board, and every single one of them is taken. A team that's not so fantasy relevant, the Cleveland Browns.
PFF gave them a little A+ grade on the draft. Mm-hmm. And that's just strictly based on the draft, which I'll let you get to your spiel. I actually like their draft, but then we'll get to why I'm still not taking any of them.
Yeah, no, look, draft was great. As far as last season was concerned, Shedeur Sanders just got over 100 points at the quarterback. Jerome Ford really was their big guy in the backfield.
And
Jerry
Quinshawn
Judy,
Junkins till he got hurt.
exactly. Jerry Judy, he showed up and got himself 180 points. Harold Fannin was the jump out guy at tight
Yep.
end with 186 points, led the entire team fantasy wise. Their draft was fantastic. They went tackle, then they doubled up on receiver, Concepcion in Boston. I love both of those picks.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
Went ahead and got themselves a safety, and then concentrated again, offensive line, getting themselves a tackle, a center, linebacker, tight end, quarterback, and tight end rounded out their draft. They knew exactly what they wanted to do with the draft. I think they got it. I think Deshaun Watson coming back, we're going to see real fast if he's got anything left in him. I don't think he does.
They got 5 quarterbacks.
Yeah, they do.
You have none.
No.
You have none.
Nope.
And I'm including Deshaun Watson. You have none. And this is why the only player up, well, there's 2. I tell a lie about 3 minutes ago. I'll take Junkins because he's a dog.
Yep.
And I'll take Fannin because he's the only one that Shedeur Sanders wants to throw the ball to.
Yep.
Nobody else I'm touching because they don't have a quarterback. The quarterback is terrible. If they love Shedeur like they said they do, you just drafted arguably the most athletic quarterback on your team in Taylor Green. Not even arguably. He's going to be the most.
Yeah.
But he needs the most work. He's a project. But if you had any faith in anybody on your roster, why are you drafting this guy? You know why? We're dealing with another new coach. And we'll talk about that when we get to the next team. You drafted another one because you're dealing with another new coach. They didn't draft him. So why don't they do Dylan Gabriel a favor right now and release the young man?
Yes.
So he can go sign with somebody to get himself a chance through OTAs and mini camps to make a team. Because he is clearly the odd man out.
Clearly
the odd man out. Do him a favor. Now they have, if they could establish a quarterback, I don't care who it is. If it's Shedeur, great. I just don't think he's that good. And it's not because I don't like the Browns. I care less about the Browns. I don't like the Ravens, but I could care less about the Browns. Hopefully the young man's career works out for him. If it does, I'm going to start plucking some of these receivers. But until he show me he can throw a ball, I'm out. I'm out on the Browns other than Harold Fannin and Quinshawn Junkins, who's coming back from that nasty ankle injury. Hopefully he can bounce back from that because that was pretty wicked. You start breaking and tearing ligaments and stuff in your ankle, that's rough. So, but he'll bust his ass and get back. But this team, I love the draft, love it. Yeah, I mean it's an A+ for a reason. But who's coaching them and who's quarterbacking them?
That's it.
So you kind of got to stay away from them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody was really clamoring to draft a Browns player, but I couldn't agree with you more. It's Junkins, it's Fannin, and the rest can sit. And if they do something, I hope you got a good waiver wire pick.
But I say that's what waivers are for.
Yep. That is all the Browns need to be covered on this show. Now is the time. Should we have a quick, do we need an intro? Should we play the Ric Flair theme in the background?
No, this ain't what you think it is, dog. This ain't what you think it is. Because, again, I'll let you do your thing. Go ahead. And I'll break it right down for you.
Aaron Rodgers led the team for quarterbacks last year. Jalen Warren, 180 points in the split backfield. DK Metcalf, 185. And Pat Freiermuth with 135. I know I went through that fast.
Yeah, so there's nothing else to talk about.
Your draft, I liked it a lot. It was a pretty standard Steelers draft as of late. All offensive linemen, a receiver here, receiver there, defensive end here, safety there. I liked your draft. I think your offseason moves before the draft are what made the Steelers exciting. Namely, the signings of Rico Dowdle and Michael Pittman Jr.
Absolutely.
I love this. And if this team was there last year, holy shit, I would have been all about drafting Steelers players.
Not with Arthur Smith as the offensive coordinator, you wouldn't have.
Okay, fair enough.
Because that's who was the coordinator. That's why the shit was
Yeah.
as bad as it was. It wasn't great from a talent standpoint offensively because you didn't have a number 2 receiver. Now you do, but again, you got fleeced in the first round of the draft because you should have had Mekhi Lemon.
Yep.
But they got to thinking the Eagles will never trade with Cowboys. Cowboys will never trade with the Eagles. Damn, they didn't. So now you get an offensive lineman, which I don't mind the player because somebody got a block, or this Lamborghini can't get out of the blocks anyway. So I like that pick. And I do think the kid out of Alabama is going to be really good. So they do have their number 3 receiver now. So you have Metcalf, Pittman, and Bernard. That is great. You got Rico Dowdle back there. You got Jalen Warren. Oh, wait a minute. Who quarterbacking? I don't discriminate. So if you start talking about what guys you're taking, man, you know who I would take? I would take Pittman because he's the guy that runs the intermediate routes. He's always going to get the ball.
Yep.
Metcalf drops too many balls, and he can't beat one-on-one coverage, and he can't cover. He can't make contested catches. And then you go to the backfield, flip a coin. Who's getting the ball? You think it was split last year. I think it's really going to be split this year. The only dude that I would really count on is Pittman. And then even when you look at the tight ends, we all love Freiermuth. But man, Darnell Washington is a big dude. So who's going to be the primary tight end?
Yep.
You know, I would have to say Freiermuth because of what I've seen out of McCarthy from his Green Bay days. But then again, who quarterbacking? They give Aaron Rodgers this dumbass unrestricted free agent thing where they can match any deal. And this bitch don't even have to come in till they can't sign him till training camp.
Yeah.
Which quiet as cat. If I'm 42 years old, I'm like, yeah, dog, I'm coming in. I know I'm hating on him right now, but look, I'm coming in at training camp too. But now you don't get to work with Rico Dowdle. You don't get to work with Michael Pittman. You don't get to work with the young rookie receiver. When you are the ultimate egotistic, or however you say that person, you just egotistical. And you're going to jump all over their ass if they run a wrong route, if they miss an assignment, but you're not there with them through OTAs and minicamp to teach them what you want them to do.
Yeah.
So whose fault is it? So that's the problem Pittsburgh's going to run into. I don't see this team. McCarthy can coach his ass off.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh couldn't stop anybody. They couldn't stop anybody. So what are we going to do on defense? I know this isn't a Pittsburgh show from that standpoint, but my point is they're going to be behind in games too. Believe that, or they're going to be behind. So Michael Pittman, who's the better pass catching back? That's the one you want to draft, and you want to get your tight end because now they'll all of a sudden throw to the middle of the football field, which they haven't for 19 years. So for the first quarter of the season, their tight ends are going to be running wide open down the middle of the field because teams just don't cover the middle of the field.
They don't know how to scheme for it.
They don't scheme for it.
Yep.
But Michael Pittman, I predict, will have 115 catches and over 1,000 yards because he's going to be the guy that's always running around open because DK's getting a double team.
I totally agree with you. DK's DK. He's going to do DK stuff, but Pittman,
including punching fans.
Exactly. Pittman is going to be in that weird position where he's almost going to be quarterback proof too from a PPR standpoint, where they are just going to give him the ball. That's his route tree. That is where he excels, and DK is going to try and take the top off. Again, to lose point, Freiermuth to me is the guy in this lineup. And I know Darnell Washington, especially with how he and Aaron played last year, they had a really good connection, but also,
and that's why his ass should be there now.
Yes. But Darnell wasn't allowed to run across the middle of the field anyway. This offense is going to look so different. Until we get 3-4 games in, we're not going to know what to do. Even if you draft these guys, I don't know if I want to start DK the first week. He's not my number 2. He might be a flex.
And I will tell you, I'll go on a limb right now. Keep in mind, we got new coaches. The entire coaching staff was replaced. I don't think they retained anybody. They might have retained 1 or 2 guys, but everybody's gone. draft or just wait if you think you can get him. But with the last pick of the draft, pick up Roman Wilson. Because now he's going to get a chance. For whatever reason, he did something and Mike Tomlin didn't like him, so they buried him. They straight out buried him. And I'm a Tomlin guy. I see that shit all the time, like through all the shows and stuff. They buried him. Wouldn't even give him a helmet. He didn't even dress the last 4 or 5 games, whatever it was. Crazy.
No. There were actual reports out on NFL.com that this dude could not play football. He didn't know what to do.
And they took him in the 3rd round. But when you go back and watch the
from Michigan, by the way.
Yeah, and when you study the stuff like I watch it, you go back and look at it, the guy running wide open. Aaron Rodgers just didn't throw him the ball.
Yeah, so exactly.
What is it? Is he getting open too late? And I know we had tackle problems, so you got to fix all that stuff. That's why this 1st round pick is just as important as trading for Michael Pittman. Because if this kid can't block, because they'll probably put him on the right and move the right tackle to the left side. But if he can't hold up, Driftwood can't move. He's a statue back there now. But I will say this about the Steelers draft. My favorite pick was Drew Aller.
Yeah.
That kid, and I hate to say it, Will, but head-to-head competition, this coach drafted him. He didn't draft you. And they're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And quite frankly, I think he's a better overall quarterback than Will Howard.
So
if he hits, it'll be great.
This is a good question then. If we're in a dynasty draft and you have a young quarterback room like this, where it's Mason Rudolph, I'm pushing him out. It's Drew Aller.
If Roberts come back, Rudolph is gone.
Yeah, exactly. So you got Howard and Drew Aller. Are you taking Aller over Will Howard in a dynasty draft?
Oh, yeah. So, number one, the current coach drafted him. I'm not taking the guy that the prior coaching staff drafted. I'm taking Drew Aller. Plus, I think he's a better player. And I'm taking Klubnik. I'm taking wherever Nussmeier went. I can't recall off the top of my head, but I'm taking his ass.
He went to a really good position. I forget where he went, but he got drafted in a really
I'm telling
good
you,
spot.
I'm taking them guys because they just got him. Okay, they had a bad year. Okay. We've seen quarterbacks have bad year. We've seen Sam Darnold have a bad 4 or 5, and he just won a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
you can't when guys can play and you see it and they've shown it, and then they fall off a little bit. Don't mean they forgot how to play.
Yeah, exactly.
The system is the system, and this kid, the coaching staff failed them at Penn State. That's why James Franklin ass is gone. Now he'll win at Virginia Tech because the ACC is not the Big Ten, so he'll get some wins down there, which is good for him in Virginia Tech. Kudos. But this kid is going to be a good NFL player. And I know that's easy for me to say with this shit behind me. But at the end of the day, I think he really will be. And I didn't mind them. I'm like, if they draft him, I would not be mad at that. And I would have liked to see them take Nussmeier or Klubnik at the same place at the same draft.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have broke my heart to get none of the 3 in the 3rd round. So I think they did well, other than getting fleeced from Makai Lemon.
That one hurt, but
you got to have somebody blocked.
Yeah, I wish you guys could have got Makai Lemon. That would have looked nice. I don't mind Bernard, and like you said, with Roman Wilson back there, untapped, it's okay.
Now that's fine. You have a pure offensive coach that can work with him, and I think the kid out of Alabama is just going to be good. Yeah, we now have a competitive receiving room, which we have not had since Antonio Brown and hell, I forget. That's how long it's been, since 2017, 16, 17, talking almost 10 years ago, man. So they're relevant, but what still concerns me are corners are good defensively, but it's not a Steelers show. So you got to stop somebody.
There you go. I'm going to stop you right now and ask you if you have anything else for the folks before we get out of here.
I know we went a little long today because y'all knew it when we were doing these 2 divisions that our teams was going to come up. So you're fine. Hit that like and subscribe button for us. Hit that bell so you get notified when these shows come out too. We really appreciate you guys listening, and we're looking forward to really diving into this. We'll be back with 2 more divisions, so stay tuned for the next show.
That's it. And I will do what I always do. Get ready to level up your podcast playlist at Calibration Media Group. Dive into the hilarious and unfiltered world of Kiss the Reviews, where your favorite movies get the comedic roasting they deserve. Fashion Beyond 50 is the ultimate guide to style and confidence for women in their prime. The Champ and The Chump Fantasy Football Podcast is delivering the winning strategies necessary to dominate your league. That's us. And don't miss Backstage Buckeye, your all-access pass to the Ohio State University Athletics. Find your next obsession at calibrationmediagroup.com. For Lou Willard, I'm Corey Idle, aka The Chump. We will catch you on the flip side.